Hey guys, Anthony here with the Bloody Point. So today we are going to talk about Crowfall and what is Crowfall. First, the Boilerplate Explanation. Crowfall is a buy-to-play, guild-centric, PvP-focused open-world sandbox MMORPG and a very successful Kickstarter campaign all the way back in 2015 with around 17,000 backers and a lot more people having purchased the game since then. It had over $30 million in total funding over the course of its long development, and following a very wise delay, it's set for release on July 6th of 2021. That's the boilerplate. Let me break it down a bit after this dev-produced promo for the game. You'll see Artcraft, the game's developers, describe the game in their own words, as well as giving you a look at what the game's endgame content will look like. So here we're going to see some PvP footage, and make no mistake, Crowfall is a PvP focused game, guild centric game. That's not to say there's no PvE content or that solo players or smaller groups will have nothing to do. Quite the contrary. Those things are vital to the overall game, but its main content and strength is the PvP. It's very important to keep that in mind. If you're going into this game looking for a WoW clone or something like that, or a theme park MMO, you're going to be disappointed. That's not what Crowfall is about. If you're familiar with games like Ultima Online, Shadowbane, Dark Age of Camelot, Darkfall, or even Guild Wars 2 World vs. World mode, you'll recognize a lot of what goes on in Crowfall. There are faction-based battles, guild-based battles, and all kinds of different PvP scales and objectives to experience. One of the game's more interesting and central mechanics, though, is that of limited duration worlds and variable rule sets. I'll be releasing a video every day from now to launch on specific primary topics, but right now I want to touch on what I think might be the three biggest features that set Crowfall apart from other MMOs. The first of those are the variable rule sets. So these rule sets can be many different things. They can be the loot rules that occur, so whether something is full loot, or you only drop your inventory, or you drop only gold, etc. The day-night cycle, the duration of the campaign, the victory conditions, the reward types, the resource availability, resource, race, or class restrictions, you name it. Basically anything that the devs can think up to spice things up will be one of those rule set variations. This is very, very unique to Crowfall. It's one of the core design elements, and it's something I think that's going to set the game apart and surprise a lot of people with what they could possibly see. It also allows for players who might be a little wary about the PvP focused nature of the game to enjoy the game's PvP, but with limited penalties, shall we say, in terms of the loot drop and so on. One of the other really important things that sets the game apart is the depth of the game systems. You know, the complexity of the combat system with the telegraphs, counters, synergies, and combos, and all those things. It's pretty complex, something which becomes more complex and rich as the scale of the combat goes up. Something you'll notice in Crowfall is, for the larger battles, the movement of the whole force, the way the force is composed, the spec and the maneuvers and so on is really, really important, and it's something that you don't see in a lot of MMOs. It's not just a Zerg ball versus a Zerg ball. There's a lot of coordination that has to go on to be successful, and it's part of the depth of the combat system. The crafting system is also incredibly deep, not just in terms of how the system works, but in what you can do with it. You want to make a weapon that buffs a particular stat, you can do that. You want to make an armor set that has more resist to, say, piercing versus crushing, or vice versa, you can do that too. If you want your character to be able to see farther than others, or to be able to hit from farther away with its ranged attacks, well, you can do that as well. Crafting is extremely important in this game. It is the sole source of certain things which tie into character progression. The additional levels you can get from 30 to 35 require a specific type of crafter, and that is a key element of the game. and a deep element. The other system, which is extremely complex, is the harvesting system. The harvesting system really makes PvE a vital activity, even for such a PvP-focused game. A lot of the things that occur in the game, not just the crafting system, but the city building system, require and rely on certain PvE activities. If you don't have people out there harvesting and gathering, if you don't have people out there hitting the mob camps, doing the raid bosses, the large group bosses, then you're not going to be able to do certain things. And that is hugely important. So these systems are all very, very vital to the game. And lastly, and what's I think really going to set the game apart, is the deep character customization. You know, Crowfall has 12 races, 11 classes. Each class gets a promotion class. Each of those can select from 3 domains. There's 15 domains in total, and those unlock about 200 discipline runes, which are ways to pick up additional powers and skills and so on. There's about 200 of those. That's a lot of different ways to build your character. And it doesn't even take into account the differences opened up through gear. It's legit crazy. All of these systems work together so that, you know, you could meet a knight and you have no idea what that knight is capable of until you see him use certain attacks and so on. He could have picked up a bow ability from a discipline. You have no clue what's going on there. It's amazing. So this topic, character customization, will be one of the first of 7 videos I'll be posting from now until release, 1 each day, going over a core area of the game. Those areas are character customization, character progression, conquest in PvP, exploration in PvE, crafting, harvesting, and finally, Eternal Kingdoms in the economy. You know, it's been a long wait, but Crowfall is finally on the verge of launching, and while I know the game won't be to everyone's liking, for a certain type of MMO player, it is the only game to our liking. No instant sieges, no canned content, no complete lack of risk or ability to impact the direction of the game world. Crowfall really is an MMO you can win, or lose, or win and lose again and again, with each time being different, fresh, and epic. If you still aren't sure about the game, do yourself a favor over the next week and take a deep, open-minded look at the content creators have been putting out there over the past weeks, months, and years. Watching 10 minutes of the new player questline just isn't going to show you what the game is really like. Thanks as always for watching. Check back for a new video on a different core topic every day from now to launch, and I hope to see you in game.